Hello, this is Brian again. Sorry the last clip cut out. I didn't pay attention to the time and it already hit 20 minutes. So this will be the next clip. So now, I've come down quite a ways. I know I was talking about white alders and their pinkish hues. There they are in bloom right now. Incredibly awesome trees. Always been fascinated by them. But I was talking about earlier, chaparral whitethorn, Ceanothus leucodermis, is starting to bloom already below 3,000 feet. That's a plant that I want to get into in April when it's in full bloom, because I definitely want to get video of that and get a spotlight video on that. Again, here are the little catkins. These are the male inflorescences, and you can see right next to them. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but I can see the female flowers right next to them. Let's see. Okay, so this big long dangly thing is the male, but where my middle finger's behind, you see it's where my finger's wiggling. That little tiny dot right there is a female flower. They look like the immature. They become the immature cones, little cone-like structures. These little things here that I'm tapping with my finger, that's the female flower of the white alder. Got a lot of elderberry here too. But yeah, beautiful white alder trees here. Incredibly beautiful trees. I'm really glad to be around them today. This is, I know I've talked about growing some plants before, but I've never grown white alder before. Never grown this tree before. They're just fascinating trees. And they smell nice too. If you're ever hiking where white alder is, especially when the leaves are present, it gives off a very soft, sweet, woodsy aroma. Kind of like this, our California sycamores do. Real soft, woodsy aroma. But, ooh, there's a little gully right there. It's like, Brian, climb me. You like hiking up gullies? Hike up me. Yeah, I like to joke about that. This is a beautiful canyon here. Wow. Beautiful, man. Well, that's why I wanted to come here again, because the first time I was here, like I said, the focus of my hike that day was to climb up a random peak, but now I'm just here just for the canyon itself. And of course, we got up this way, the drier stuff, where it's a lot more concentrated with canyon live oak and sparse Jeffrey pines. Then we got an old incense cedar down here, really old one. I think it was much taller back in the day, but the top of it broke off. Yeah, somebody does minor trail maintenance down here. This is really neat. This is an awesome trail. But yeah, here's an old incense cedar. It's maybe about 100 feet tall. It's just old. It's got a large trunk on it. I can see a lot of fire scars on the trunks of these trees, so I suspect that fire is also another reason why a lot of the white alders here are young, because they probably sprouted up afterwards. There's a nice Jeffrey pine right there. Probably, honestly, I'm probably not that far from where I joined the trail of Cedar Canyon. I'm probably not that far from it right now. I think I'm getting close, because I remember, I think it's near where that slope comes down there, where the really tall sugar pines are growing. I think that's close. I think that's near where I intersected Cedar Canyon Trail when I was going down cross country from Big Pines Highway. There goes your beautiful stellar jay, Cyanocida stellari. Those are so cool birds to listen to. Actually, the stellar jays are really showy birds. Picture a blue jay but with a lot more black on it and a darker blue color. Black head and black crest and darker blue plumage. So yeah, it's actually in the same genus as the blue jays that you find more towards the east. They're also in the genus Cyanocida. Alright, slow going here because it's a little snowy here. What a great spring day to be here in the conifer forest. It's not all completely snowed in like it can be this time of year. You know, beautiful black oaks, white firs. Wow. These currants, man. There are a lot of Sierra currants down here too. They're just everywhere. We got Cedar Creek over here. Like I said, see the trees with all the sprawling branches? These the sugar pines are becoming more of a thing over here. This is actually, ooh, gotta watch out where I step. I see ladybird beetle congregations. I gotta really watch where I go now. And you can see ladybird beetles, or most people just call them ladybugs, but they're beetles. So I just gotta watch where I walk. I don't want to step on them. But they do have areas where they congregate in huge masses. The last time I saw that was when I hiked up Santa Rosa Mountain Road to Santa Rosa Mountain Peak up in the Santa Rosa Range in southern Riverside County, and I remember I was trying to take a break underneath a canyon live oak grove at 6,100 feet elevation, where there's a big sharp turn before you start getting into really lush conifer forest. And I remember just sitting there, just trying to find a place to sit without squishing them, which was quite a challenge. I eventually did find something, but I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to squish them. I don't like even squishing insects. I like to say that I respect life in general. Here we are. Yeah, now we're getting under the sugar pines. So this canyon just keeps beckoning me to go further and further. Wow. I don't think I'm quite at that spot yet. I know when I do, I'll have a nice probably 700 foot climb to get back out, but getting down here is just worth it. I had to get back to this canyon. Had to get back here. I mean, it is just unbelievably beautiful down here. I think I'm really close to where I came down. I know I came down one of these little draws here, these little gullies, that had a humongous amount of white fir saplings. I don't know if this is it here, but I'm probably pretty close to it, I suspect. This is a pretty good trail. I mean, it's not real faint or anything. It's, for the most part, really, really easy to follow. I'm trying to remember. I think, let's see. I'll know when I start seeing big leaf maples. There are big leaf maples, some thickets of them along the way down. I think I see them already. I think I see where I came down the first time back in May of 2020. I'm just about at that point right now, actually, so I'm just about down at the 6,000 foot mark. Yeah, here we are. This has got to be it right here. So I'm just about at that point where I was last time. Yeah, these are big leaf maple trees right here. You might think they might not look like much, but they're obviously still dormant for now. Here we are, big leaf maple, Acer macrophyllum. It's only March 28th, so I don't expect... In the lowlands, yeah, they're already well on their way to being leafed out. But yeah, this is it right here. This is where I joined the trail. This is where I saw it and followed it. Yeah, I remember, because it curves around, goes on that side. Yep, this is the gully I came down. And of course, at the end of my hike, I had to climb up this. But actually, where I came from today is significantly higher. So I have a bigger climb, but it's on trail. It's not scrambling up a gully. But I remember this is the gully I went down and up for my Cedar Canyon hike, May 9th. It was May 9th of last year. So here I am again. This little big leaf maple right here. It's pretty lush. This is a nice young one right here, starting to grow. Starting to ready furrow its bark. I imagine these are pretty fast growing trees. Big leaf maples, I believe they're pretty fast growing trees. But yeah, they got those big terminal buds on them. Well, these buds haven't swollen yet. It's a little early for them. But beautiful. So this is what big leaf maple looks like in the winter. This was maybe about 20 feet tall. Youngster. Beautiful. So yeah, this is where I went. Followed this for probably about a quarter to a half a mile. Then I broke off and see that, it's hard to see, but between the trees you can see a hill over there. That's closer towards the random peak I climbed, 6703. But today is not a peak climbing day. It's going to feel like it going back, but gosh. Yeah, we're just barely at 6,000 feet over here. Actually, we're maybe a little bit above it here, but I think it actually goes downhill more as you go along. It actually goes downhill a little bit more, so where I left the trail was probably barely 6,000-ish. Maybe like 59, 80, 6,000 feet. There's a nice tall white alder. Of course, you know, the incense cedars are much larger, because our coniferous trees tend to be much larger than our deciduous trees, that's for sure. So beautiful down here. This white fir had a leader that broke off and another one took over. Yeah, I love this canyon. I remember when I hiked this, it was after work. It was after work in May. I think I got off at 2 or 2:30 or something, I forget. So I got to the trail, probably close to 4-ish, and I got to the top, and I got back, and then I was worried about having to climb this in the dark, as it was already starting to darken a little bit, but I made it with just enough daylight. I'm pretty sure I had lights with me. I've been pretty good about carrying headlamps and stuff, but I don't like having to do off-trail hiking in the dark. It's much more complicated in the dark. I did not want to have to climb that in the dark. And then it was starting to darken quite a bit as I went down the other side of the hill. Then it started getting darker. Then I got back, there was just enough time for me to get a snapshot of the sunset by by Big Pines Highway. But yeah, this is basically to the point where I came the first time, so going beyond that way, I'd have to go probably at least a quarter or half mile further along to get into new territory. In other words, areas I haven't hiked yet. But I really don't want a 1,500, 1,600 foot climb at the end, so I'll probably do another section hike on this trail, maybe from a different side. But before I start going back up the hill, there's a young sugar pine here that's really tall. This is not an old tree at all. It's already got a respectable girth on it. It's not a very old tree. There's a tall sugar pine. This is a pretty young one too. I've seen them even here in the Angeles National Forest with really big trunks on them. So this one's, wow, this is a really impressive specimen here. And you can see, oh boy, I tried to do this not in the sun. You can see how the lower half plus is branch free. That's how a lot of these trees get when they're in really tight forest conditions. Yeah, we start getting some big sugar pines along here too. Yeah, because I remember seeing the big sugar pines on this side of the hill here. So these trees are pretty impressive. And a lot of these white firs here, they're really tall. They're just very narrow. So this is very optimal growing condition. Very optimal growing conditions for these trees here, considering how large they get. The incense cedars are pretty respectable here too. But I think here in this canyon, it's the sugar pines that really take the show. Some places, it's the white firs that take the show. Some places, it's the Jeffrey / Ponderosa pines. But white firs here are pretty decently tall too, though. Sure is beautiful over here. And you can definitely tell these trees have been affected by fire. Not the bobcat fire, obviously, because bobcat fire didn't get over here. Go down Big Pines Highway, you'll eventually run into the fire scar, or drive towards the fire scar. We got a lot more young big leaf maples here. Little saplings everywhere. Always love these trees. I'm surprised I haven't seen any big cone Douglas firs. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen big cone Douglas firs in the Big Pines area. Kind of surprised, actually. Especially down here a little ways. Hear the creek running. I'm gonna go by the creek. Some relaxing nature sounds. Maybe get a break from my babbling on about all of our trees here. Let's see if I can get right by the creek. Last time I was here it was flowing too. It was flowing better in May because we had a lot more rain, especially at the back end of the rainy season. So here's a little Cedar Creek area. Beautiful. Thickets of willow. Well, actually, it's thickets of alders here. Thickets of alders and currants. Well, I'm getting close to the 20-minute mark, and I don't want it to cut out like it did. I think what I'll do is go ahead and be finished with this clip. I might get into one more clip before the end of this little video set. If I do, stay tuned for that. You obviously know that this is clip number 3, so if you see 3 out of 3, then you know there's no more clips. So if I don't record another clip, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this trip down this beautiful canyon. If not, I'll see you on the next clip. Thanks for watching thus far.